everyone, today I'm here to react to the first trailer for The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So I actually haven't read the book. I really love the Hunger Games trilogy, obviously, and the Hunger Games movies I think are fantastic, and they're actually having a huge resurgence right now, which I feel like marketing-wise, you could not have planned better for this movie to come out. Like, everyone is back into the Hunger Games train, and this movie coming out this year just has me more and more excited. I'll be honest that I didn't actually read the book. I'm going to before I watch the movie because I definitely always try to know like everything going on before I go into like the movie or something like that. But when it first came out, I was just not interested in reading about snow. Like, I really am not a huge fan of those like retroactive, like, this is the reason the villain is this way, because it's like, at the end of the day, they're just a villain. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that you could really do to justify Snow, and I'm not saying that that's what Suzanne Collins is trying to do with the book. I'm sure she sees that, like, he's a bad guy and, like, he is the villain of Katniss' story and all of Panem by the point of the Hunger Games trilogy. I feel like this is trying to show how he came to power and how he came to be the way he is. So I feel like it just, I get like, I don't want to like read something that makes me feel for them, you know? And I don't know, like I said, since I haven't read it, if that's necessarily what she's trying to do, but I just don't really like that. And I also feel like, especially in terms of like other games that you could have talked about, like I would love to see Haymitch's game, Finnick's game, Annie's game. I've always wanted to see Annie's game and read a book about that. But yeah, I was just not really interested, and then the more and more came out about the movie, it seems like they were really trying to do a good job in keeping it in theme with like the Hunger Games universe. Like, they have the same director, I believe, who did the majority of the Hunger Games ones, and a lot of the actresses that they announced being in this I really like. Rachel Zelger I think is so cool. Hunter Schafer obviously I love, and it just kind of had me excited, like I said. And I think it also, like I said, coincided perfectly with this kind of resurgence of Hunger Games. I was even watching like Peta and Katniss fan edits the other day to new Taylor Swift songs, and like when you're that deep in, you know you're deep. So I'm excited actually to see what it's going to be about, and like I said, see the focus on maybe it's not going to be a justification for who Snow is, but an explanation of how, if Katniss was a different person, how her story could have gone perhaps. And just, I feel like getting more backstory to the games themselves when they're so fresh will be interesting, because this is the 10th game and Katniss was the 75th and 74th, so obviously there's a huge time where people kind of got used to them in a way, as awful as that is to say, but just feeling like there's nothing they could do about them. Whereas I feel like 10, it's still kind of fresh, like there's people still alive, a majority of people still alive who probably remember the first rebellion and everything and the first Hunger Games and are still rightfully horrified by it. So yeah, I'm excited to check out the trailer, and yeah, let's check it out. Wow, see that right there, that shot already, not to pause it as like the first moment, but that screams Hunger Games to me. That's where I feel like you can see that, like, really this is the same team. Like, I feel like it's really gonna feel like in theme cinematic wise with like the other movies, which is really awesome. It won't just feel like some like cheap ploy to make more money. I forgot she's in it too. Oh, I love her too. Oh, I forgot he's in it too! So this is the guy that created the Hunger Games. That's kind of crazy. That's the other thing, is it's like, is it gonna be that like there's a villain that's like, oh, you think Snow's bad? This guy's worse. Like, this guy created the games, right? And like kind of shows you how Snow turned out the way he did. Or is it gonna be like Snow always had these, like, you know, that thing where it's like you've got inklings towards like good and bad, and like what you lean towards can change you. I feel like it's going to be kind of that. Like, he always had this kind of, because obviously he's from a very prestigious family and stuff like that. Like, he was raised in the capital, I believe. So I feel like that's going to be a big thing. I'm just curious to see how he interacts with like the big bad of this. But yeah. There he is. That's Snow. Oh, there's Rachel. Oh, she's so freaking cool already. I love her. Like, it seems like, all right, I'll give you a show, right? Oh gosh. So this is interesting. I feel like this is, I forgot that like it wasn't, because I feel like they did talk about this in the Hunger Games, of like the first kind of few games were just like the games awful, and then afterwards like someone was like, wait, we can make money off of this, like we can start like the betting, and like people can pay to like ship things in and stuff like that. And I feel like that's where, oh, if they're gonna explore that and like how the spectacle of it all really started, I think that'll be really interesting, because it's one thing, it's one horrifying thing to make the games in general, it's another horrifying thing to make people watch it and make a spectacle out of it and be like, oh, like this is entertainment, right? Like that's even worse. Wait, you brought her a rose? Weirdo. Oh, I forgot it's a Flickerman. Like, it's been a family tradition to host these. I think that's such a cute detail. Oh, there's Hunter. Wow, that arena looks so different if that's the arena they're fighting in. See, that's why I want to see more of it, because it's like you could see like the eye, like, you know, the different types of arenas that there were. Yeah, this isn't gonna have a happy ending. That's one definite thing, right? Honey, look who you're talking to. So, did he shave his head after or before? That's the curious thing. What? Oh my gosh, I forgot they're singing. Final performance, that's so sad. Ew, look at the snakes. See, it's just weird that like we're treating him like a hero, the legend that changed the games. I'm like, not for the better though. It feels like very like Hunger Games-esque. I love the symbol so much. It looks really good. I have to say the only parts that didn't work for me, weirdly enough, were the parts that first still we saw of them like just chilling, Rachel's character and Snow just like chilling. And someone tweeted and I wholeheartedly agreed with it. They were like, it's giving Divergent, and I don't mean that in a good way. I just feel like those scenes of them at like the cabin when he's got like his head shaved and stuff, they just seem more modern in a way, and like they don't seem to fit in with the Hunger Games. So I am curious to see like what the timeline of that all is, just because like I said, it seems like, oh, it's so intense and so crazy, and like you would think it's building up to her game and him trying to train her, and I think he falls in love with her too throughout the thing, and then it seems like maybe they escape, and then something like, I haven't read it, so I'm like grasping at straws here, and I'm sure people are like, what the heck, like you have to know what happens, but I'm definitely going to read it. I just think not knowing like what happens, that's my takeaway from it right now, is I'm very curious about that. And I love her though as a character so far, like very intriguing. I saw someone sum it up very nicely on Twitter the other day where it was like, I gotta find it actually because it was so well put, like the difference between Katniss and Lucy. Da 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 da, go to likes, was I smart enough to retweet it? No, I was not. Can I find it? Was it Twitter or was it Tumblr? Oh, okay, here it is. It's Leah Morella. So she says, Katniss and Lucy Gray are very, very different. The Hunger Games is about what happens when you place a hunter in a performance. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is about what happens when you place a performer in a hunt. And I feel like that just sums it up perfectly, because even the way, like, she was, like, bowing, which I know is, like, a nod to what Katniss did in her games when she was trying to get the, like, people's attention that give you a score or whatever. I feel like there's something very, like, showmanship about her, which I think will be interesting because that'll help play in very well to like how the games change, of like it's not just like you're gonna like be like, oh, I want the best one to win, the strongest one, right? It's like, oh wait, like she can't really fight, but like I like her, she's cool, she sings and stuff like that. And I think this is gonna change the games for many reasons, because it also, I wonder if this is when they're gonna start to get like super messed up, you know, where it's not like, oh, we just throw kids in arena and like give them weapons and stuff. I wonder if this is where it's gonna start to be like, we're gonna throw snakes that are hallucinate, and like we're gonna make dogs with their faces and stuff, you know? Like I feel like just all that kind of crazy stuff, because it could be like this guy clearly doesn't like Snow, the guy that created the Hunger Games, but it could be like he's like a mentor of sorts, or a like, hey, this is your legacy, like I'm gonna make it my thing now, you know, like I'm gonna make it so much worse and like make it so much more of a spectacle, and like sell seats and sell bets and stuff so that people love it and only think of my name when they think of it. Like I feel like that could kind of be it. And like I said, I'm just really interested. I really love the arena. I think that was my favorite part so far, of just like seeing such a different arena from what we saw in both Hunger Games. Like I know one was like of the forest and one was like the island, so they were different, but they were both like outdoors. I never ever anticipated or like pictured an indoor arena. Like that's kind of horrifying to think like you're trapped inside. Like I don't know. It's just really good. And like I said, it makes me like, it looks good. It really does. It's just the Snow aspect that I'm like, okay. It's not gonna change how I feel about his character. If anything, it might make me hate him more, maybe. I think. I could be wrong. I could be eating these words after I read the book and see the movie. But I just feel like, yeah, it's just like, snow. That's what it has to be. Like, you can't show me Annie's where everyone drowns except her because she's the only one who knows how to swim. And then I get like, oh my gosh, imagine like young-looking Annie and young-looking Finnick. Or even like, I know we know how Hamish's games end, but like the Quarter Quell, like seeing that, like another one of those, and seeing his was his double the people? I think his was the one that was double the people. Like, we know how it ends. We know he won, but still, that would be awesome to see and see like a young Haymitch and everything. I think would be really cool. So I'm really excited for this movie. I am. And I hope that maybe it will convince Suzanne Collins to write some more Hunger Games books, like, about other people, like I said, because I've always really wanted to see that. I think it's gonna make me cry, obviously, because I know there's not gonna be a happy ending, like I said, and I think I'll immediately have to go watch the Hunger Games movies and read those books to remind myself that eventually Snow does get what's coming to him after everything. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think it looks good, and I think they did a great job of keeping it in line with, like, the Hunger Games, like I said, like, the cinematography, I cannot speak sometimes. The cinematography is very similar, like, that first shot looked so Hunger Games-esque to me, and everything with like the arena felt really like scary, and it's just gonna be interesting to see like someone else's whole journey on that and like a different kind of mentor-mentee relationship, but also how this like changed the games for the worst, you know, like how this made it become like a spectacle, like they're saying, of like now it's like you can't just be good, you can't be like fast, you can't be the best. It's like now you have to have a story or something, you know, where it's like people want to root for you so you can get stuff, and it's just like it ups the game and makes it like even more diabolical and devious. So like I'm super excited. I think it looks phenomenal, and I'm really, really excited to see more. So yeah, if you have seen the trailer, please feel free to leave your thoughts about it down in the comments. Also make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!